What's going on, everybody? Teddy Baldassarre from teddybaldassarre.com. In this video, we're going to be looking at a watch available for purchase on my website with the Rado Captain Cook Bronze, looking at this particular one with a green dial. So at any point throughout this video, if you have any questions, feel free to go to our site. I'll have a link in the description to where you can actually purchase the watch. We also have live chat to support with any questions that you have, then also can book a call directly with me if you are really on the fence about making the purchase. But guys, let's take a closer look at the watch. First, looking at a rundown of the specs, we have a case size of 42 millimeters, thickness of 12.5 millimeters, lug width of 21 millimeters, lug to lug of 48.3 millimeters, water resistance of 300 meters. Movement is an automatic at a C07611. We have a screw down crown here, bezel insert ceramic, crystal is sapphire, and priced $2,600 for this bronze variant on the site. So when looking at some of the most underrated brands in Swiss watchmaking, I think Rado needs to be considered in the conversation. From say that $1,000 to $3,000 price range, I think they deliver a great mix of well-designed pieces with quality materials for the money. And the piece that we have here today with the Rado Captain Cook Bronze is a really great example of that. First, a little bit of background on Rado. This Swiss brand has history dating back over 100 years to 1917, being started by two brothers first under the name Schlupp & Co., transitioning to the Rado brand name in the 1950s, in which the brand reached new levels of success and developed many watches during this period that created the framework for the brand that we know today. With recreational diving standards starting to emerge and many brands developing their watches to meet these needs, Rado created the original Captain Cook model in 1962, named to honor the British explorer Captain James Cook. The design formula from the piece certainly arose from what was popular during the period and now has recently emerged as a bestseller from the brand and really has helped lead to the growing success in the US market especially. So the model that we have here, as mentioned, is their Captain Cook Bronze. So it's a newer release from the brand and a watch that takes the traditional format and adds a bit of flash with the case material and glossier dial surface. First, when putting the Captain Cook on the wrist, we have a 42 millimeter variant that has a rather slim case for a diver at 12.1 millimeters and a very small lug-to-lug distance for a diameter at this size at just 48.3 millimeters. Now, I covered two Captain Cook models on my main channel a little bit earlier this year with a 42 millimeter option and a 37 millimeter option. And going into the review, I was ready to just say how much I was in favor of the 37 millimeter version in terms of its overall wear, but I was very impressed with the wearability of this 42 millimeter case here. It wears closer to that of a 40 millimeter case instead, and I would recommend it on wrists as small as 6.25 inches or just under 16 centimeters. The case on this comes in bronze, as mentioned, which has been a popular case material as of late, and in the case of this green dial variant, really just pairs well. One important point when it does come to bronze watches, though, is that they're going to age or patina in their own unique way, and really a lot of this comes down to interacting with different oils of your skin, as well as dealing with kind of the day-to-day taxing conditions of wear. But I do think allowing this to age naturally really allows this watch to have more of its appeal, and I think is ultimately the intrigue for bronze watches overall. The case comes in a brush style finish, and the crown comes in a higher polish and is of the screw down variety, which will assist in maintaining the watch's 300 meters of water resistance. The crown, when unscrewed, will operate in traditional fashion from here. It can be hand wound at the first position, can change the date at the second position, and can adjust the time at the farthest out position when pulled out, while stopping the second hand in the process. Between the lugs on this piece, we have a well-constructed calf skin strap with a signed bronze buckle to match the case. With the strap here, it tapers down to 18 millimeters, and the lug width on this piece is a odd number 21 millimeters, which will make third-party options a bit more limited. However, I do offer a variety of Rado Captain Cook straps as well as other 21 millimeter straps on my site, and will help kind of take this piece in different directions in terms of its versatility. The bezel here comes with a coin edge bezel finish along the side, which will assist in the rotation of the 120 click bezel. The rotating action is smooth, it's secure, and shows essentially no play whatsoever when engaging. The insert here is made of ceramic and has a glossy reflective finish to match what we'll be seeing on the dial. And for those not familiar, the use of ceramic and mastering it is really one of Rado's specialties, and I think this bezel finish is a great representation of that. It doesn't feature any lume on the bezel, which could be a knock if you were actually professionally diving with this piece, but given the case material, don't mind me in assuming that I don't expect many looking in the direction of this piece are going to be making many professional dives with this one on. Looking at the dial, we have a beautiful green finish that comes in a reflective, glossy texture that, when combined with the AR coating sapphire crystal, the bronze case, and the ceramic bezel, it simply pops. One point that I really like about this piece is how the dial surface is not completely flat and actually curves in a more convex manner and perfectly mirrors the opposite effect of the box sapphire crystal, creating an illusion that the dial is really popping out at you. Along the outside, we have applied markers that contain superluminova to match the hands within and shines with nice incandescence. The broad hour hand and just the overall surface area of the markers really just help with the shining in the dark and reading the time. At the 6, the writing of Captain Cook and the reference to the depth rating. The 3, a date aperture with a white date disc in red text. And at the 12, the Rado logo that actually has a nice little trick. As you might have noticed throughout this video thus far, the anchor symbol at the center will actually rotate when handling the watch and will rest at different positions, a feature that has become a bit of a trademark for the brand and provides some nice fun in the details. Now flipping the Captain Cook bronze over, we have a closed screw down case back featuring an embossed display of stars and seahorses at the center, protecting the automatic ETA C07611. Now, Rado is a member of the Swatch Group, which creates a lot of upside with getting access to fantastic movements for the money, and here we have a great example of reaping the benefits of that. So this movement's most notable feature is with its lengthy power reserve of 80 hours. Now, this power reserve is boosted substantially and is able to be achieved by reducing the beat frequency of the traditional ETA 2824, which operates at a beat rate of 28,800 vibrations per hour or 4 Hz, and bringing it down to 21,600 vibrations per hour or 3 Hz, which is going to help maximize the reserve of the coiled mainspring and is going to create kind of a more set it and forget it kind of flow with an automatic watch that you don't necessarily commonly see with other movements in the price range. So to unpack on the movement, 21,600 vibrations per hour for the beat rate, 3 Hz, features hacking and hand winding, so hacking stopping that second hand when pulling out to the farthest position, and has that power reserve of 80 hours. And in terms of accuracy, you might be thinking, okay, well, you're really kind of customizing this movement to a full degree. How is the accuracy affected? And just for this one, in this case, for an anecdotal reference point, this one is running at just 1 second off from perfect time of day. And in my actual measuring of different Rado watches, this is kind of to be expected. You're usually seeing single digits every day of the week here. All right, so now just to unpack on some things about this piece. I think a few things on the negative and the positive end. I think one, bronze is not going to be for everybody, so that's something to consider, but there are plenty of other Captain Cook models, and it seems to be more and more being unveiled as time has going on here. So you'll have a ton of options available in that regard. The lug width is also odd numbers, so that could be a downside. There's a lot of different strap options available through Rado as well as on my site, but just something to consider here. You're going to have a little bit more limitations in terms of the universality of different straps out there. And then the things to really like here, I think the Captain Cook is one of the best examples of a well-designed sports watch in the modern sense at around this $2,000 price range. And I think the bronze version is very, very good. It's very striking in terms of its overall profile. And I really think this is one of the better looking bronze style divers out there. It's a little bit more, I would say, fashion forward. I don't want to use that as like a negative connotation there. I just think it is very design centric in its approach. And then also a really accurate movement and a great power reserve. 80 hours is very lengthy. Yes, you're going to be seeing some other more entry-level type of watches from the Swatch Group that is also going to have that power reserve, but I don't think you can really use that as a negative against this piece because this is still a very good movement, I think, even at this point. And then ultimately, I think in that $2,000 price range, there's a lot of different brands out there, and I don't think Rado is the brand that necessarily gets the time of day in this range, unfortunately. Yet I think that is starting to change a bit more. I think the Captain Cook, easily one of my favorite diver watches in this price range, and the bronze is a nice execution, adding a bit of flair to this overall framework and doing it very well. So guys, thank you again so much for watching. Be sure to like the video and subscribe if you're new here. And also, I'm a full authorized dealer of Rado watches. So if you are interested in learning a little bit more about this piece, definitely head over to the website. You can also purchase the watch. Be happy to help you out with your purchase. We're a full authorized dealer, full factory warranty. I'd love to show you what going authorized is all about. But guys, thank you again so much for watching. Be well, and I will see you all very soon.